guys, welcome back to my channel. So in this video, I'm doing a makeup tutorial slash review of the Morphe x Jaclyn Hill Vault collection as well as her brushes. I got all of that in the mail recently, and I know there has been a lot of talk about this specific collection, Morphe Jaclyn Hill, but I'm not going to prejudge. I'm going to give my own opinions. I am going to say right now that I love how this look turned out. So if you want to recreate it, if you want to watch the rest of the video, don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button down below and that notification bell while you are at it. And let's go ahead and get started. I'm first going to use the shade Rush with the JH35 brush. I'm going to dip in it twice because I don't want this shade to be too pigmented. I'm kind of taking it higher towards that inner brow bone and then rounding it out towards the end, towards that outer part of the eye. I don't know if it's the brush or the shadows, but I'm very happy with the pigmentation. I'm not getting a lot of fallout. There's not a lot of kickback on the palette itself. And I'm really happy with the color payoff. For shades like this, I don't like it to be too pigmented anyway, and I like building up the color because this is supposed to be a transition shade, really. So it's nice to know that it's a buildable shadow. And then I'm going to take the brush JH34 and I'm going to focus this on the outer part of the crease using the shade Alert. So I have a neighbor that has a baby rooster, and that rooster likes to call out throughout the whole day, throughout the whole night, throughout the whole morning, and it is right by my window right now, so sorry if you hear it. JH32 brush with the shade Bomb Ass. It's a shimmery shade, but I'm not going to use it as a lid shade. I'm going to use it to kind of brighten this inner corner right here, which is not necessarily something I would do on a daily basis, but for this fall look, I think it's going to add a nice touch. So I'm just going to focus that right here. Again, I'm going to not take it down all the way. So it's going to look kind of messy at first, but it all comes together at the end. That's how makeup is, though. I use Mugshot on the lid with a JH41 brush. I'm telling you, this is probably my favorite brush of all time because it really packs on that shadow. Do we see this pigmentation? Do we see that? It is absolutely beautiful. Obviously, I still have to blend this up and blend everything and blend all the edges, but I don't know if it's the quality of the brushes or the quality of the shadows or maybe both, but they work really well together. I'm also blending it outwards very lightly because I don't want it to cover that red shadow right here, so I'm just being very light-handed. So I'm using the shade Poof with a JH31 brush. Focus this shadow around these edges because I did take this shadow a little higher than I wanted. It's really hard to match the other eye sometimes, so I'm just gonna bring this down a little bit, and as you can see, look at that. You see this blend? I'm not over-exaggerating, but you guys saw that blend, and it was everything. So I'm just gonna tap the shadow Secret on the outer edge. I'm using a JH39 brush. It's kind of like a small, dense pencil brush, but the blending ability of this brush is beautiful. So far, I'm really enjoying this palette. So I'm gonna go into VIP from the Armed and Gorgeous palette with a JH42 brush, and this is going to be the brow bone highlight. Darken that lash line with the shade Temptress from the Dark Magic palette. So I'm using a JH43 brush to line my lash line with Temptress. So I'm just going to add some mascara to my top lashes. I'm gonna do my brows off camera and then I'll be right back. All right, so I did my eyebrows and my base. All I have to do is set it, but I'm gonna use a new powder this time instead of the Peach Perfect Too Faced one that I've been using for a year. I'm gonna use the Hourglass Translucent Veil Setting Powder. It's super finely milled, and I'm just going to use my dampened beauty blender to set my under eyes and down the bridge of my nose and all my oily areas. Right underneath eyes again. I actually really like baking with this powder because it doesn't dry out my skin too much. I've stopped using the Laura Mercier one because it was super drying, and that's not a cute look. So I've switched to the Too Faced Peach Perfect one, which is really nice on my skin, and this one has been really good as well, so I'm very happy with it. I'm gonna let it bake for about 2 minutes and then dust it all off. I'm using the JH06 brush to just dust all of this off. I'm gonna use the JH01 brush. This is perfect for powder, so I'm gonna use this brush to set my face, the rest of my face, with the MAC Mineralize Skinfinish in Medium Plus, Holy Grail. I can't live without this powder. I'm gonna be using it for the rest of my life, unless I find something better. Do we see this? It's like taking up my whole cheek. I'm gonna set my brows. I'm gonna be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel. Just gonna do the same. Gonna brush these up almost in the opposite direction. And then once we get to the tail of the brow, I brush up and then down. Just so they look a little more textured, kind of unruly. So I already did my bottom lower lash line on my left eye, and I actually just used the JH42 brush to do all of this, including the inner corner. I wish there was more of a detail brush in this collection, but there's so many other brushes that you can work with that it's totally fine. I'm just only gonna use one brush for that whole lower lash line, which is the JH42 brush. I'm gonna use the shade Rush. Again, kind of like as our first transition shade all over that lower lash line. And then I'm gonna deepen that outer corner with the shade Secret. That's kind of the intensity I want on that lower lash line. Nothing too smoky, because too smoky on my eyes tends to look kind of crazy. I start to look like a raccoon if they're too smoked out down that lower lash line. So I'm just gonna blend without any additional product. I'm going to spritz this brush with some Fix Plus, any kind of setting spray. Just want to wet that brush. And then I'm going to go in with the shade Lolly. It's like her little puppy. Lolly, and then take that on the inner corner. Then I'm just going to wipe that brush off. It's still a little damp, so that's exactly what we want. We're going to take the shade VIP that we use on that brow bone, right in the inner corner. This shade gets a little intense, so once I place that shadow, I wipe the brush off a little bit on a tissue and then go in and blend. And then I'm just gonna add my bottom mascara using the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise. Actually, I'm gonna do my contour blush and all of that right now, and then I'll put my lashes on last. So for contour, I'm gonna use the JH05 brush. I'm using Hoola bronzer. What is new? This brush is a little more dense than the Y9, but I kind of like it because it really packs on that bronzer. It's a little more concentrated, if you know what I mean. For blush, I'm gonna use the JH04 brush, and I'm gonna use a new blush that I picked up. It's called the NYX Ombre Blush in the shade Sweet Spring. And then I've been doing this new trick with my blush where I kind of focus it more around this area, closer to the nose, kind of like that sunburnt, drunk blush look. And I find it really nice. You'll see in a little bit. I usually like a little more of a fluffy brush for my blush. Who else has a hard time saying brush and blush in one sentence? Closer to the nostril. And it just gives off a really youthful, fresh look, in my opinion. Like you just came out of the sun, sun-kissed, you have a little bit of a sunburn. So for highlight, I'm going to use the IluvSarahii X Dose of Colors Bathe highlight. It has taken over my life. I use it all the time. I'm just obsessed with it. So I'm going to use that again with a JH09 brush this time, and let's see how well this packs on that highlight. Wow. And I barely dipped into the product. I'm taking this all over that cheek a little bit too. So we are going to do lashes, lips, and we're done. As I look down, kind of squint, and then I pop them on from top. And then I just like to push them so that they're more secure. Boom.
At this point in the video, my mic cut out, but I'm using the NYX Waterproof Lip Liner in Nude Suede Shoes, then the Dose of Colors Nude Chica Liquid Lipstick, then I topped it off with the Fenty Gloss Bomb, one of my faves. And this is the finished look. I was pleasantly surprised with the shadows, especially the brushes, so I definitely give both collaborations 2 thumbs up.
And the mic is turned back on. I am so sorry about the voiceover on that lip section, but nonetheless, I do really like how this look turned out. Let me know if you like the reviews or the makeup tutorials or get ready with me's vlogs. Let your girl know, but thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.